Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring Land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
All
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews, Boring Land. Nick here.
Gabe.
And we are here to, I don't know why, but I get a little somber right now thinking about it. We are here to pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Marvel has put out a video, so grateful for that we're going to react to. And whether it gets claimed or not, I'm not really too worried about it because I want to check this out. I want to check it out with you guys. Chadwick Boseman, if you don't know, I'm not sure how you don't, he played Black Panther, King T'Challa. He played Jackie Robinson in 42. He played James Brown and so many other roles, especially recently on Netflix and whatnot. This guy is a movie star. And when he played Jackie Robinson, I said, oh, he did such a great job. This is awesome. But I don't feel like he was worldwide acclaimed.
Right.
When Black Panther came out, you yourself saw it like 6 or 7 times in the theater, like everyone else. When Black Panther came out, it wasn't just like, oh, that was a pretty good movie for a Marvel film. No,
right.
This was a record-breaking film. This was a legendary film. And I don't care who you are. If you have any kind of hate for this film, then I don't understand where you're coming from, because this is a phenomenal movie. Not just that, but this was our first comic book MCU film that had a black character who was our lead superhero, not to mention mostly an all-black cast.
Right.
And it's a movie that is just so well made by Ryan Coogler. But when he gave that performance, I kid you not, and I'm not trying to be the smartest guy in the room, even though I would love to be. I know when I saw that movie, like most people, that was a performance. That was the moment. That's probably the moment. And he did a great job in Civil War, but he didn't get the whole spotlight. When I saw that movie, I said, wow, this is going to go down as an all-timer. Not just the movie, but his portrayal of it. He was 100% T'Challa in every way possible. I don't feel like he was 100% in Civil War just because we didn't get a lot of him. But he was 100% T'Challa. He embodied that character. All you got to do is this, right? And you know exactly what that's about. To the point where when we have Endgame, and you have, the Doctor Strange, the portals opening up.
On your left.
On your left, which already gives me goosebumps. The biggest goosebumps for me is whenever he walks through and he gives the chant. And I don't even want to try because I don't want to say it wrong. Thank you. When he comes in.
Dude, they came ready to bang out.
And Cap sees the king. He is the king of the Avengers. You can't say he's not. Dude. Cap is Cap and he's the leader, but he is the king. Dude. And so when he comes out, and that's what breaks my heart the most. In my opinion, he should be the new Cap moving forward to the new phase. Right. And we're never going to see that. I'm not going to be selfish as a fan and say that. Right. But, he would have done even greater things in that universe.
Well,
and in life, too.
I'm not sure which way they were planning to play it. But, in the comic books, eventually you have the Illuminati, which is the heads of basically all the big superhero teams that are formed to, protect the Earth. And, of course, we have Doctor Strange on there. We've got T'Challa, the Black Panther on there. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, who's, the smartest man on Earth. Sorry, not Tony Stark, for all you big Iron Man fans, even though they're saying
not me.
I'm telling you. Yeah, not you either. But... in any event, he plays a huge integral role in the comic books. Now, I'm glad what you mentioned that he is the first black comic book character to get, or superhero, I should say, to get a comic book, but that's not true. There's actually MCU, since you mentioned it, and that's why I'm glad you mentioned it, because we have to talk about Blade, right? Wesley Snipes, who played Blade, and Blade was awesome. The third one, hit or miss, but still, it was good.
Jokes. The third one's got jokes.
It was good. And then Spawn. People forget Spawn comic book, which is actually an Image comic.
Michael Jai White.
Yeah, Michael Jai White. So there were other characters who first took on that mantle, but he took it to a new level. This was a $1 billion film. And while those movies were good and a little campy, like you said, this was a complete film. Man, Ryan Coogler, this was a masterpiece.
Oscar-nominated Best Picture film.
Bro, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I tell you what, and I think the smartest thing he did was pair T'Challa up with Killmonger, all right, another comic book character, and put these two really strong actors and Michael B. Jordan in there who can also hold his own. Sometimes, and even the MCU, other than Loki, the complaint was always, man, the complaint was that the main villain was so weak, was so one note. And we saw a villain that was not one note, that was not weak, and had a compelling story in and of himself. And I think that the smartest thing that they did was have T'Challa take that journey where he even starts questioning himself, okay? Just because you've been doing something forever, and this is what your father did, and this is what the prior Black Panther did, does that mean this is what we're supposed to do? Are we supposed to stay neutral? Are we supposed to ignore the planet, the world? And you see that even though Killmonger dies at the end, spoiler alert for anybody who didn't see it, all right? What does T'Challa do? He learned from his cousin and said, you know what, he was right. We can't, close our doors to the world. They opened their doors to the rest of the world, opened up their doors and started a community outreach program to help a lot of their ancestral brethren who are spread out across the world. And man, the movie was just so
unbelievable. Dude,
I don't even, man. I could talk on and on about it. Maybe we'll do a Black Panther review or watch along party. But let's get to this video so we can see this tribute, because man, I'm just gushing about it and just thinking about the significance of this film and thinking to myself, I can't believe this happened, and we'll never get to see him in Black Panther 2, which had already been greenlit, you know what I mean? So
heartbreaking.
I'm so sad.
Thoughts and prayers to the family. Obviously, that's the most important thing.
Right.
To all those kids out there that are just like, this is my hero.
Right.
Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, they're the same person. This is my hero. I feel so bad for all those fans. I mean, I feel bad for myself, but especially the kids that are looking up to him. I remember being a kid and having my favorites on film. We're going to check this out. I mean, it's crazy to think that he was going through cancer as he's filming this.
I'll tell you the craziest thing. He married his long life sweetheart, you know what I mean? Knowing that he was dying, you know what I mean? But, just to at the end, and fulfill hurts, he was always thinking about other people. He was actually, while he was sick, battling his own disease, he was going to hospitals, visiting other kids who had cancer. Gosh, this guy was a real life superhero, man.
The craziest thing too is he got a scholarship to film school by Denzel Washington. He was able to win the opportunity. And Denzel didn't know who he was at that time. He was just one of the kids because Denzel gives back. But he got a scholarship to go to film school paid by Denzel Washington. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let's get into this. Gonna make us cry. The King.
It was Chadwick Boseman's performance in 42 that really made us take a second look. There is such an honor and dignity to the way that he played Jackie Robinson that we knew we needed for the character of T'Challa, the Prince of Wakanda.
Chadwick is an amazing actor and we thought would fit perfectly with the MCU.
Black Panther himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick, he has a lot of depth. It was amazing as an audience member to look into his eyes and see what's going on.
We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe.
A lot of the things about the character are also true about Chad. He's very knowledgeable. He's an athlete, martial artist. He's had a lot of experience playing roles that come with a lot of weight. So I think he has a person, he has a guy, has a lot of weight to him. I think he brings all of that stuff to the role, but not to mention that he's incredibly gifted as an actor and as a performer, and also as a storyteller in his own right.
I am not king of all people. I am king of Wakanda. And it is my responsibility to make sure our people are safe.
Because he is so prepared as an actor, and because his character is sort of flawless on set, it forced the other actors who had scenes with him to kind of raise their game and go, okay, this guy is not taking anything for granted. He's really leaving it all out there. So we have to keep up with him.
What doesn't Chadwick bring to the character? I mean, he's regal and grounded, and he brings a gravitas to it. So all of this feeds his T'Challa, and I think he wore the crown with dignity.
Bombay! Bombay!
I've known him since I was about like 17, so I've known him for a really long time. Back in New York, he did the work, obviously. You know, I just think he did an incredible job being true to the character.
Wakanda forever!
I had a great time with Chadwick. Just warmth and camaraderie came into it, of course, with a great deal of respect for his previous work. So when I looked at him with proud eyes, you know, they were as mother and also as comrade and colleague and Angela. It is your time to be king.
I mean, Chadwick is just a powerhouse. He's so talented. Every single movie he's made, there's kind of this internal, almost nobility.
The Black Panther has been the protector of Wakanda for generations.
He's such a soulful actor and so professional, so present. He really gives so much to the other person, and he's awesome. And his presence on set, I think, kind of raises the stakes a little bit for everybody.
Chadwick he's a really smart, interesting, dynamic guy, and I think he was not overwhelmed, but very surprised and somewhat taken aback by the amount of love. It ceased to become just about how well he inhabited the role and all that stuff. It's become part of our culture just as a symbol.
This welcome is one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced.
It's fun to watch just what it means to people. At times, in my head, I'll be like, well, what does this do for the world? Like, actually, what is it? You know, is it actually valuable in this climate? And I have to say, yes, it actually is. Not because it makes people escape. I think when done right, it gives people hope. I found that it means a lot.
You know, I can be a very critical person at times. And, you know, I'm feeling emotions the entire time. And in a world like today where media exposure and social media and, you know, all this kind of stuff, like, I believe that tribute. I truly do. And I believe that statement at the end, you can call it cheesy, you can call it whatever you want. I love that statement that you will always be our king. Right. This guy... I mean, we're film fans, and this guy belonged there. This guy deserves to be there. He earned that role. I was watching an interview that the Real Rejects posted in a post that they did that he gave on Sway's internet radio show when the film was coming out, and he had said that there was these two kids that had cancer, and you know, no one knew at that time what he was going through. Right. But two kids who had cancer that were they were struggling. And they were trying to hold on just to watch the movie because they knew it was going to be something special. And he just was blown away by that. And he said, it just pumped me up to go home and work more on my accent, work more on my lines, work more on my physicality, get back in the gym. And this guy's suffering from cancer, and he's able to get in that kind of shape. And, I mean, even after it came out, this guy showed up at every single event, showed up for people. I mean, this guy was there to embrace it. That's the way you got to do it. And he sacrificed so much time and energy. It just sucks. Like, why this guy?
You know, man, 2020, I think Trey sums it up the best for me, man. And 2020 just sucked, bro. You know, we've lost Kobe. We've lost a lot of people. What's going on with COVID? I mean, this is just the social unrest in this country. It's been bad. And I mean, this is just another example of that, you know. If you really want to know Chadwick Boseman, there's a speech on the internet which he gave at Howard, to the graduating class of Howard. People don't know he graduated from Howard. He was a really talented actor. And he talks about how, you know, when he first got into acting, you know, he got a few roles and he was knocking it left and right. You know, he did a play, very first time he auditioned for a play. He had never lost. He'd never been knocked out. Every role he went out for, he got the lead in the play. From that play, he got an agent. He went ahead and got a role in a soap opera. I want to say it was like a different role. I forget which role it was. So anyway, the character, he had some trouble with the character in the play because it was portraying a gangster, and he went to the to the producers of the film. They say, hey man, we love you, you're doing a great job on scene, you're killing it, we want to make you a regular on this, write you into the into the long fold, you know what I mean? But let us know if you need anything. So he said, as a matter of fact, I just wanted to really play, again, being prepared, I want to know some more of this character's backstory. Okay, he's a drug dealer. I can deal with that. But why is he a drug dealer? Why is he on the street? Where's this kid's father? Because this kid at the time is portraying a teenager. He's like, well, his dad isn't in the picture. Dad abandoned mom. Mom, okay, well, why was he living with foster parents? Why was he in foster care? Him and his brother. Because mom was on drugs or whatever. He's like, okay. So he's asking these questions and are now making the writers uncomfortable. And he went out. He said he filmed, probably did the best he had done up to that point. This best role. And then after that one, episode, he was fired. And he was just shocked, like, this is crazy. It was the first time he would have ever fired from a job. And like he puts it, even if it's a job you don't care about, getting fired sucks. You know what I'm saying? And he even says that. He was like, even if I don't care about the job, you don't want to be fired. You rather quit than get fired. But then he saw how in the show, they changed the trajectory of where they were taking this character, because they were just trying to make him a stereotypical gangster from the streets. Well, okay, even if he's a gangster, give me some backstory to why that person's that way. You know what I mean? Give him some depth. Every character has to have depth. They're not just that. They're not born gangsters. They're not born, as drug dealers on the corner or gun-toting gangsters. Why is this person this way? And the writers didn't like that. So he was just talking about how you will get knocked down in life, but by him taking that hit, it changed the actor's the producer's opinions. And even though he lost out on that role, the next person that played that role played it differently. So sometimes you have to sacrifice. And I think that was the very first time he saw, like, you have to take that stand, and it led to him playing these very important historical figures with, like what they said, a dignity he brought to these roles. You know what I mean? I can't see anybody else having played Jackie Robinson in 42. I can't see anybody else having played James Brown. I can't see anyone else playing T'Challa. You know what I mean? I'm like, Marvel right now, I'm so glad they did this, and I'm so glad that they're not even thinking about this. But the higher-ups got to be thinking, what do we do? You're in a nightmare situation. You can't recast. You know what I'm saying? No, it's how do we write this into the story? It is so tough. Again, outside of any Avenger property, Black Panther was the first billion-dollar movie that wasn't an Avengers ensemble. You know what I mean? Like, they're so stuck right now. And as a fan, I'm like, there were so many characters that were great from there, like his sister Shuri. I don't want them to just end that storyline, but what do they do? I don't know. What would you do?
So first of all, to be the annoying person I am, Iron Man 3 hadn't hit $1 billion. But what I would do is you've got to respect what he did in that role. You never recast it, no matter what. You don't stop it either and just whatever. You have Shuri, have her come in as a new Black Panther. That's in my opinion, that's what you got to do. I know there's some grounds for that in the comic books and whatever. They're talking about Namor and all this kind of stuff. There's different things you can do, but you don't have a new T'Challa. You can have a new Black Panther because we have that, basis for that in the comics and whatnot, but you don't.
But it can't be T'Challa.
No. T'Challa, you honor him, and you're going to move on. You're going to say, T'Challa, he died or whatever you want to put. You put it in there. You do it honorably, but you move on, and you don't ever, I mean this right, you don't ever recast T'Challa. You just don't. And it sucks because I guarantee he had storylines going forward. I guarantee there was things he was going to do going forward. But think about what we did get. We got Civil War. We got him in Black Panther. We got him in Infinity Wars. We got him in Endgame. I mean, that's a pretty good way to go out, even though you're not choosing to go out the way that happens. We got him in those 4 films that we're going to be able to watch over and over and over and truly appreciate, and then let them take it into the new direction or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's a movie, and that's a franchise, and we love it. I know people are going to kill me for saying this, but the person has got to be more important than the movie. And the sacrifice he gave as having cancer, I'm not sure if he was diagnosed when he was doing Civil War, but at least 3 of those films, he had that diagnosis.
Like 4 years ago,
yeah,
man.
4 years ago. But this guy gave you everything. You got to give him everything as far as that respect goes. I'm going to be wearing this hat as much as I can. I have a whole bunch of different hats. I love them all. But every time you see me wearing this hat, it's my honor to, I almost call him T'Challa, to Chadwick Boseman. Just like my Lakers hat is my honor to Kobe whenever I wear that. Mad respect. Like you said, I'm so glad MCU did this. That was a great tribute. It will not be the last time I watch it. I will definitely check out that speech that you said, because this guy was he was a guy you look up to. He was a powerful guy, and if it ever came out that he ended up being a corrupt, horrible person, it would be the biggest shock of my life, because I'm completely sold on Boseman as a person, and, I believe in the afterlife. I believe that, maybe God just missed him too much. Who knows? But it sucks that he's not here.
I'm just glad he left a great legacy behind. And like you said, his body of work, we don't think about everything he's done, not just the MCU, but again, the Five Bloods, which if you haven't seen his performance in the Five Bloods, check it out. I didn't realize Spike Lee knew he was sick because he was supposed to be a much bigger part of that film, and you see how he's missing in parts of that film. They had to kind of rework the original story because during that, he couldn't be there the entire time, which is like, man. But also, 21 Bridges, that came out. Not my favorite film, but again, check it out. You know what I mean? He was so prolific as far as being an actor. He was always busy, always grinding out. And again, he filmed all these films over the last 4 or 5 years with this diagnosis. Like I can't even imagine what it was like, you know what I mean, to go ahead and do that and battle, and of course you've got to go through chemotherapy and all that stuff, and all the treatments, and I believe he had a few surgeries involved as well. Like, oh my God, that's just brutal. But man, anything else? Any
just
other
mad
party
respect,
thoughts?
All the fans out there, let us know, what are some movies of his that we haven't mentioned? Movies that we probably may not know about, that people don't know about, that you've seen him in. I want to check it out. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know, your favorite memory of Chadwick Boseman if you want to. But we hope we did this with the utmost respect, because we respect the guy completely. It's super sad. We're huge movie fans, so we're feeling on different fronts. But thank goodness that he was able to give us T'Challa when he did. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.
Thanks.